Hey traders, John Howell here. Let's actually get into today's update. I just want to give you guys an update across all the indices, gold, silver, some of the gold mining sector as well too. I also want to talk about the energy sector as well too, guys, because I think the energy sector could be setting up for quite nicely. I'm going to quickly touch on the Australian market as well too. Also, in today's coaching video for you, I want to share with you two things. The first thing I want to share with you is the why the big trend, the long-term trend is so powerful, and for you to keep an eye on to see what's really going on with these markets and how it can help you with turning points across these markets. I'm going to talk to you about that. And also I'm going to talk to you about there's two types of traders out there that I've noticed. And I was actually the first type of trader, and the reason why I didn't succeed. And then when I started becoming the second type of trader, I started to actually get a bit of momentum in the direction. So let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So let's actually get into today's update. Quick little update across the Aussie market first, and then I'll get into the gold, silver, and the indices and stuff like that as well. So a quick little update across the Aussie market for my Aussie traders. Looking at this level here, this is the ASX 200 here, and this is the weekly chart here, guys. And looking at where we are right now, we're just above these highs here. So we really have been doing nothing through here, guys. And then now we're coming up. Now we're starting to trend, and I've really noticed this a lot. In a lot of the markets that's likely to make big moves, right? Gold did this before it actually had a really big move for about 6 weeks. And that is, we do nothing for quite some time. We just go sideways, and then we break out, and then we start to see some sort of trend. So the Aussie market could be getting ready for a breakout, because it really hasn't been doing much since the middle of 2021. So not much. There's no one, just pretty flat. And now guess what's happening? Look what's happening right now. Low, we broke out, and now we're just going sideways. And now we're also getting what? We're now getting a very, very, very strong trend, aren't we? Very strong trend to the upside. So that's exactly what we're seeing through there, guys. So for you Aussie traders, a break above, I have to say, yeah, break above the 7,900 on the XJ, 7,900 on the ASX 200, or the XJO, for you guys that follow the XJO. Yeah, again, above 7,900 on the XJO, which is the Aussie index, I believe is going to start to see the Australian market could be getting ready for a really big move. Just looking at these longer term charts. And the reason why I say that, guys, it's just all patterns, right, guys? So traders, whenever I'm looking at the markets, I'm just looking at these types of patterns, aren't I? So let me just bring this over here, right? So I'm just looking at the different types of patterns in the market here. And so one thing you want to be doing as a trader is we want to be focusing on the patterns that are universal. And because I don't believe there is a Forex trading system or a stock trading system or this trading system. I just believe that there is universal principles that apply to all markets. And that's what I like to focus on. And that's what I do in that course, in my trading course, where you can see that when you can go to johnsfreegift.com and you can get that. That's that link in the description there. You can get free access to that. Or if you want to upgrade to the complete massive Master Trader Lab, I'm giving a 90% off sale to that as well too. If you go to johnsflashsale.com, you can grab 90% off the entire Master Trader Lab, which is just massive educational program if you really want to get access to something to really help you out with overall education, mindset. There's about 5 different trading systems in there, so just get the help you need. So anyway, I've just noticed that through there, guys, and especially, and this is where the reason why this is so powerful is because we're understanding what is the market doing, right? So this is universal based principles across all markets. Whenever the market goes sideways like this and does nothing, there's no one in control, right? So if you're trying to trade the markets and you're trying to trade this time here, and I'm just utilizing the Aussie market, but this is the exact same reason why I had a really massive trade on gold. Why? Because when there's no one in control, I'm not getting involved with that. There's no probability behind that. But if I get a breakout, and then I start to see a bit of a like that, what am I getting now? No one in control. Now I'm getting a low and a higher low, right? So now guess what I'm getting? I'm getting a low, I'm getting a higher low, and I'm getting this sideways period. A break above here would tell me what? We're now getting ready for a really big move to the upside. So for me, guys, I'm personally getting ready to trade the Aussie market, right? So I keep an eye on that as well too. I keep an eye on all markets, as you guys can see from there, when it comes to my own personal trading, because it's just universal based principles, right? And if I go back to the gold chart, look at this here, right? Let me just show you here, right? Look at this. Look at this is the gold. This is the reason why, guys, the stuff that I teach, it's just the exact same thing, right? Look at this. See how look at this. This is pretty much the exact same type of pattern. What is that? Look at this. Sideways in gold. We broke out. Came up, and then we had a really big move. See how we went sideways, then we broke out, and then we create the pattern there. ASX 200. What's happening right now? Sideways, broke out. Pretty much the exact same type of pattern, right? Yeah, so it's pretty amazing to do. So let's actually go check on gold and see what's happened with gold today. So gold, pretty much a nothing day today across the gold market. This is the daily chart through here, and again, we just continue to go sideways through here. I still am in the believer of a short-term flush before a complete reversal. In gold, I believe it's probably going to shake a bit of weak hands out first, but I'm definitely not in the bear camp in gold. People say, yes, you are, John, because you said it's going to go down. It's short-term drop, okay? Short-term drop, and then a slingshot move to the upside, because that's what gold likes to try to do. So pretty much a nothing day across the gold market today, guys. When it comes to that, let's go look at silver as well. Across silver right now is still, this is the weekly chart to the left here, and the daily chart to the right. You can see the weekly chart to the left, really still in a strong upward trend through here. And the daily chart's very, very, very volatile. Trying to trade silver right now, if you're trying to short-term trade silver right now, you're getting your head ripped off right now. I'm gonna go long. Oh no, I'm going short. No, I'm going long. No, I'm going short. It's like you are getting your head ripped off right now. For me personally, guys, I stay away from environments like this, right? Especially if you guys if you are short-term trading silver right now and you're trying to get in and stuff like that, and you're probably having a bad time right now, because every time it looked like every time we got a break up, it went down. Every time it went down, it went back up. It's like you're getting a lot of volatility through here. This is the time to stand aside and not trade. Wait for it to cool down a bit and then start to pick up on the upside from there. So that's what I'm seeing there from the silver and gold. Let's go look at the GDX. And the GDX, pretty much a nothing day across the GDX as well too. Pretty much nothing going on this daily chart to the right here, guys. You can see here really not much going on, but when we look at this weekly chart, we can see that we're really starting to we had this break to the downside through there. So we can take you off the screen. Let's actually, and we can clone you. Right, so let's clone you from there to there. Right, so as you can see from that point there, that point there. So possibly, I don't believe the mining sector has got that much of a downward movement to come, guys. I don't believe that we've got too much downward movement to come, but we've got the mining sector having a bit of an overall short-term drop. You can see this major resistance level when you look at my moving average, really starting the trend through here. So possibly, or even maybe we're just going to go sideways through here. Wait for this moving average on this weekly chart to catch up, and then away we go from there. Let's look at the S&P 500 here. S&P 500 actually had I was expecting a bit of a follow through, at least on a short-term level, on the downside today. We didn't get that, right? We just didn't get that. We're just continue to hold here strong, aren't we? It's such a strong market right now. And the problem with this, guys, is that there will eventually come a time where we do get a really good correction, right? Meaning like a good 5 to 10%. And so that's always the market is just continue to suck a lot of people in right now before we actually get that 10% correction. For me, I had a real nice, good short-term trade from here. And so now I'm in and out. But this stock market is so strong right now, right? And it's just, yeah. So right now, guys, we are continuing to hold here just sideways. If I bring on, say, some moving averages, right? What we could quite possibly be getting, if we get a breakout now, guys, it's probably not ready to go for another move because we're still pretty far away from the moving average. So we're just going sideways. But if we do get a breakout, then that's probably going to be a false breakout to that there. So I'm really watching this level all through here, that level there. If we do get a break to the upside, we're probably going to go for a break to the upside, and then it's probably going to be a very, very, very short-lived type of move. Now, what can happen is that we continue going sideways. We wait for the moving average to start catching up, and then we could start to see this thing going to the upside, right? So that's exactly what I'm seeing from there when it comes to the SPX from there. Let's go look at the Nasdaq. And Nasdaq, really, really, really strong reversal in Nasdaq, right? Again, I was expecting to see. Let me do that. Let me make this. There we go. I was expecting to see the Nasdaq actually come down a little bit more, and we didn't. We actually just hold here. So such a strong bull market right now. And the big problem with what's happening right now is that people that are just long this market and just holding long and just holding long and just holding long, and that's their strategy. If you're making a lot of money in this environment, people think, "Oh, I'm a good trader. I made a lot of money in the markets. I just bought and held for 6 months and made a lot of money." All right. Just remember, the art of trading the markets is this is the nature of the beast, right? When it comes down to in your lifetimes, you're gonna experience environments like this, and it's important. This is more and more so important to not let that FOMO, the fear, the greed, all those emotions start to come in play, because it can just really suck you in, and before you know it, this is when you start to go downhill from here. So looking at the Dow Jones is continuing to just be sideways through here. Really not much going on with the Dow Jones. Again, pretty much a nothing day from there for when it comes to, for when it comes to that. So there's a little update across the markets for you today, guys, on a short-term level basis. The energy sector. I do want to focus on talk about the energy sector here. And the energy sector, guys, this is the energy sector here. And just looking at this weekly charts, the energy sector is one that I've been talking about with my coaching clients recently, and actually for a while now, because I believe that we could be getting ready for a really, really, really nice move to the upside. I'm not getting my confirmation yet that it's starting, but we could be getting that confirmation real soon. I'm just looking at this level all through here. If I take everything off the screen here, right, you can see that through there. And then also we've got possibly something going on through there somewhere, maybe. Let's actually bring this up through here. All right, so we've got that trend line coming through there, possibly. Like that's a bit of a trend line through there, but we did get a breakout, and now we're slowly coming down through here on this weekly chart. If we can get back above through here and get some big volume spikes, especially on this is the daily charts through here, guys. So if we can actually hold here and start to get a rally out, there's probably going to be a very, very, very big move from here, because this is more like there's different phases in the markets, right? You see this very strong move up, and now we're going weak to the downside. So I do believe there's probably amazing trading opportunities coming out of the actual stock market itself, and also the energy sector. So the energy sector is the one. There's actually a couple of different main markets I'm really focusing on. S&P 500. It's so hard to do sort of like predict right now, right? Because it's like we're such in a very strong market, but we've been going for quite some time. So for me, I'm going to go fishing somewhere else. And fishing, where is that? The energy sector looks like that. And then also the Aussie market, right? Remember the Aussie market? So this is the Aussie market through here, and especially looking at this weekly chart here on the Aussie market. The Aussie market, if we start to get a break to the upside, it could be a big move in the stock market on the Aussie market. So I'm not always just chasing that. And even gold and silver and stuff like that, guys, if something's not setting up, that's the reason why it's so important that you have some sort of a trading approach that you can apply to all markets. And that way, like if I'm, right now I'm also focusing on a couple of different Forex pairs right now of different trading setups I'm looking at on the Forex market. But it's the same type of principles that I'm focusing on across all markets from there. So that's what I wanted to focus on from there, guys. Now, one thing what I want to do right now, traders, is I want to help you when it comes to your trading and simplifying your trading, so you're not getting whipsawed, or you can really start to see what's happening here. And one of the big things for me is big profits comes from big trends, right? And big trends tend to happen from a weekly chart trend analysis perspective. So let me take off this moving average, and I'm going to use the Nasdaq here as an example here, okay? Now, here's the thing. Whenever the market goes through different phases, right? We go through uptrends, we go through downtrends, and we go through no trends. And what happens is this, right? Is that in an upward trend, we have these higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low. So as long as we continue to make these higher lows, we're still in an upward trend. But as soon as we come down through here and we actually break the low, so we have this higher low, but see how the market actually broke it. That's also now a possible sign of now going sideways or starting a bear market, because then we come up, we made a lower low, lower high, and now we start this downward trend. But same for the downside. On the downside, now low, lower high. As long as we make lower highs, the sellers are in control. But if the buys come straight back up and break the high on this chart, now we're possibly bottoming out and starting another bull market. And then we come down through to here, we come down, make a higher low, and then away we go. So this is where like big trends come from big profits, right? And so for me personally, with my personal trading guys, I'm always watching that weekly chart, right? So for example, gold, start of the year, for me, like you saw with the Aussie market and so on and so forth, but looking at this level through here, guys, you can see like big profits come from big trends. So understanding where we are right now is so critical. And as you can see, if I'm just bring up the Nasdaq here as an example, you can see after the COVID, we can see here we had this low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and a higher low, right? So we continue to have these strong higher lows all the way up. So that means what? The buyer's in control. As soon as we actually broke this low, guess what? That was the end of the bull market, right? Then we came down, we made a lower low. Now, guess what? Now we're making these lower highs. Lower high, and a lower high. So that was the down phase. When did that come to an end? When we actually broke it, right? Remember I said before, in an upward trend, the higher lows are the most important part. In a downward trend, the lower highs are the most important part. Because if the lower highs are still making lower highs on this weekly chart, this is why it's so important, guys. Always keep an eye on the weekly chart. We can get these short-term highs and lows on the daily charts, but the weekly chart is there really helping us and guide us through that process, right? So now that would happen, higher high, then we made a higher low, and all through here. And this we're really focusing on the charts. And if we're focusing so much on all the other stuff, inflation, Fed, interest rates, debt, recession, all that sort of stuff, as you know, at the start of 2023, then we actually went right. Then we went higher high, and then we came down just to create a higher low. Then we came up, now we're creating a higher low, and away we go. Right, so all through this process here, to me, I'm always focusing on that big weekly chart, because that weekly chart for me personally is the big trend that really does matter. So that's the first level to this. And then the second level to what I just said there is what's the trend? And is this just the pullback, right? So for example, if right now, right, we had this period all through here, and that was what? That was a good couple of months through there, right? So June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, so that was like 3 months through there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, this is a weekly bar. So this is a weekly chart. So if you're focusing so much on the short-term charts, you're like, oh, the market's in a downward trend. But then if you go back and have a look at this, as this is coming down, this is just a pullback, right? We're not changing trend yet. Lows, higher lows. There could be some form of higher low here soon before we pick back up, because this is just up and then down, right? We haven't actually changed the trend. When do we change the trend? When we start to break the low, right? So there's two forms here. One, big weekly trend. And the reason why I'm focusing on that is guess what? When are the biggest profits made? Going with, right? So if there's a strong trend in place, I want to go with that. Why? Higher success rate, bigger profits, right? So go with that. Big trends equals big trends equals big profits. And so jump on the big trends, and how you utilize that is the weekly charts from there. So what I want to do right now, traders, is I want to talk to you about two different types of traders in the markets. And the first trader that I was in the last 20 years, I was the first level trader. And let's just do this here. Let me just bring this up to you. All right, so there's two types of traders, right? And I was the first level trader for my first probably 10 years. And the reason why I didn't really succeed as much. And then there's the second trader, which is I started to become the second trader in my second 10 years. And especially now, especially in my last 5 years, I've been really focusing on this over here, right? So here's the thing, right? So through your trading journey, when you start, when I first started, when you first start getting involved with these stock markets, you don't know what to focus on, right? You don't know what to focus on. You don't know what to do. You know, it's really, really, really confusing, right? It's like, what do I focus on and what do I do? And how do I get ahead in these markets? So the big thing for me is by utilizing this, right? By utilizing that, I know that I'm trying to get up here, right? I'm trying to get up here to say, I'm going to just do this here. I'm trying to get to the mountain, right? To the mountaintop. And what is the mountaintop? The mountaintop might be for you and firstly, it might be to quit your job. And then it might be able to, how do I make more money in one trade than I do in a whole entire year? And then it might be, okay, I make $100,000 a year and I just made $100,000 in a trade. Now, how do I make $1 million in a year from trading? And then how do you make $1 million in one trade? See what I'm saying? The reason why I'm saying that is because whenever you see this, if you get to this mountain, which is I no longer have to work anymore, guess what? Now there's another big mountain up here. So instead of making 6 figures an entire year, you want to make 6 figures in one trade. And the mountain just keeps getting bigger and bigger, right? So the first mountain from here. So what actually happens is this, right? So is that what happens is we have this starting point down here, okay? And then we have the mountain, wherever we're trying to get through here. Well, there's always a level where we're trying to get to, right? Most people, it's like, I just want to be able to quit my job and so I don't have to work anymore. So there's a journey, there's a process we have to go through. There's a whole learning process. And there's two types of traders I have found. That what thing is that what we actually think when we start to get involved with these markets and all that, we think it's just going to be a straight line, right? That's what we think. And then we start to realize that, okay, actually, and we all know this, like, let me actually bring it up. Let me bring a blue up here. How is this really? How is the sequences here really when it comes to your success? There's a lot of ups. You're going to go through a bit of really good period times when you think you're the king and you're doing really well, and then you get a bit of a smack. Some people go down below zero where they actually started from down here, and then you pick yourself back up again, and then you come back up through here and you get another whack and you get back up and they're like, whoa, and then you get this through here and then you have this sort of pullback down here, and and then maybe you get to the mountain up here, right? So this is probably the journey you're going to go through. Now, what is this? This might be a couple of year journey, it might be 12 months. The journey, what is this? This is you going through where you're learning, you're growing, you're taking trades, right? And you have you go through a period where you make a lot of money, and then the next month you go through a period where your ego kicks involved, and then you learn from that environment. And next time that happens, you get better at that, right? So you go through this process, but as you can see, the overall direction is what? Is up. This is what's going to happen with you no matter what coaching program, right? If you go to getjohnshelp.com and apply for my coaching, right, there's probably going to be a process. Even though I'm coaching you, you're going to go through a process of you doing some just some stuff that's going to really cause these setbacks, right? No matter what you're doing, especially if you're trying to become good at this thing called trading, you got the trading setup, and then you got to control your emotions on fear, your fear, greed, and FOMO, right? Of when entering the markets and making sure that you're entering the markets based on edge. Then once you've got that down handled, when you get into the position, when you get into the trade, now you've got another layer of that, right? Is starting to control your fear and your greed, or when you actually manage a trade. And a lot of trades, when they get in, after all of that, managing all of that, then when they get into a trade, and now when the market does start to make a profit, now you've got to manage the emotions of letting the profits run. But then when the market's not working for you, you cut your losses short. What do most people do? They want to get out really, really quickly for the profit because they're fearful of losing the profit, and then they want to hold on to their losers. So as you can see, right, there's understanding your edge. Then there's been discipline, consistent. Make sure you're patient for your edge. Not letting the fear, FOMO, greed kick in, which is going to stop you from not sticking to your edge. and then the later part when you actually get into it. So that's the reason why trading is actually a difficult process for a lot of people, because there's a lot of different. That's the reason why my personal coaching program, it's so important that you hang around and have a group like me and my coach and me and my coaching, is because it helps you along these journeys, right? Of fear, greed, FOMO, being disciplined, being patient, waiting for good quality setups. What actually is a good quality setup? How to identify it? Then when you're actually in a trade, how do you actually get good at actually letting the profits run and not letting that fear of losing out, missing out on losing that profit? And all this is the reason why it's not just the trading system side of things, right? And for people who know that, right, the blue line here is the person who's number 2. And this is 5 years down the road. 5 years down the road, this is person number 2, by the way, okay? So we have this is person number 2. Person number 2 equals blue, right? Now, then there's person who I was for my first probably 10 years of trading. And then I would get a little bit of success. Person number 1, and I'm going to put this in red, is that I would get this through here. I would get that, but instead of sticking to the process, figure out what I did wrong, I wasn't disciplined, the trades I took wasn't really good, and learning from that and continue getting better at that approach, I would then go start a new trading system. I'd buy a new course, and it'd be the RSI, and then it'd be the MACD, and then it'd be the stochastics, and then it'd be this divergence indicator, then it'd be this T-wave, and then it'd be this short-term Forex trading system and scalping system and swing. See what I'm saying here, right? It was always, and then 5 years later, guess where I was? Still down here. But the person number 2 says, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably gonna make a lot of mistakes. That's part of the process. But in those mistakes, I must not quit, but learn from that so I can get better, right? The mistake might be you weren't patient enough. The mistake might be you weren't disciplined enough in waiting for your edge. The mistake might have been as soon as you got into a really good trade, you got out really, really quickly, and you got out for a 20% profit where the thing ran on for a 300% profit, right? So all these different layers here. So for me personally, I was person number 1 here, and the reason why I didn't move forward in life, because again, especially when you first start trading, you just don't know, do you? Like you're like, what do I focus on? And then you go down this rabbit hole of focusing on like trying to learn as much information you can as possible about the candlestick patterns and the trend analysis and the trend line support resistance and the indicators and the big markets out there. And then you start to look at all the inflation and you start to think that what you're hearing about what the Fed's going to do, that's going to impact what the market's going to do for the rest of it, and the inflation number and all this sort of stuff, right? And you go down this massive rabbit hole, and at the end, you're totally confused, right? Because you might want to let your profits run, but now you got that fear of losing a profit, so you can't even actually let your profits run because now you haven't controlled that emotion and so much more. So there's a lot more that actually goes. This is the reason why a lot of traders can't become good. A lot of people have a hard problem becoming traders because they're in the red, right? They're in this circle of starting something new, they're always looking for that new thing because they're looking for the easy way out. But the person who understands that this is the journey you're going to go on no matter what program you go through, but it's important to actually have a group that's going to support you through the dips in your trading. This is where it can really, 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 really sort of, that sort of group and coaching can really help you get back up and not quit that process. You're 5 years from now, you're going to look back at the person who's just hasn't changed, right? They're doing the same thing over and over again. They're blaming everyone else. They're pointing the finger. This guy's a scam. That guy's a scam. This is a scam. And you might be there right now. You might be saying, John's a scam. This coach is a scam. That's a scam. Blah, 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 blah. Like, no, you are the scam. Because success in anything requires you to stick at it and go through the ups and downs. Why aren't you doing that? So you're the scam, right? Not the people who are teaching it. Because I believe all these systems out there really, really, really do help you out, right? And the biggest thing out there is that we know that in the back of our mind, we know in the deepness of our heart that to become really good at something in life requires you to go through these setbacks and not quit. We all know, don't quit, don't give up, keep going. Fall down 6, get up 7. Like, we've all heard that before, right? So if that's the case, just keep going. And remember, and it's not the system that's going to make you the money. It's what? All this other stuff that I talked to you about. It's the fear, FOMO, greed, discipline, patience. All that sort of stuff that goes along with the system. That when you start to become more patient, when you start to become more disciplined, and you start to become that type of person, then the results start to pick you up from there. So hope this helps you out there today, traders. If you'd like to join my coaching, then you can apply for that if you go to getjohnshelp.com, or there should be a link in the description there. Thanks, traders. Speak to you soon.